Not a picnic spot. This is what Madras High Court has said about Hindu temples, directing the Tamil Nadu government and temple authorities to not allow non-Hindus inside the Palani temple in Madurai and its sub-temples in the state. In fact, a bench led by Justice S Srimathy has asked the state government to install boards in all Hindu temples indicating non-Hindus are not allowed inside the temple after the Kodimaram, which is the entrance of temples near the flagpole and at prominent places in the shrine. Now, there's a background to this. The court was hearing a plea from D. Senthil Kumar, who is the organizer of Palani Hill Temple Devotees Organization, who had sought directions to permit only Hindus to this temple. Now, if any non-Hindu claims to visit a particular deity in the temple, then temple authorities would have to obtain an undertaking from them that they have faith in the deity and they follow customs and practices of the Hindu religion. This is what the court has ruled. The court has in fact said that such restrictions would ensure communal harmony among different religions and ensure peace in society. Now, there's a larger argument that temples are connecting spaces that bring society together and that there cannot be exclusionary, discriminatory rules. But there is also one side that says temples are at the center of the Hindu religion and should be governed by believers, not the secular state, and run according to the principles of ancient scriptures like Agama Shastras. Now, is this judicial meddling or much needed clarity by the courts? In this context, this ruling by the court in Tamil Nadu, a state that has seen not just a long struggle for temple entry for all, but also equality in the appointment of priests. How will this affect people's lives, places of worship, and what could be the ramifications? That's what we discussed tonight. We have a panel of esteemed guests, but before that, let me go across to my colleague, Sam Daniel, who joins us from Chennai. Sam, this order is quite interesting. It's quite complex. What does this say? And can you explain to the viewers what is the background to this?
Well, Vasudha, to begin with, this is not something new for Tamil Nadu. For ages, several temples across Tamil Nadu has been having boards in the temple premises saying that non-Hindus cannot come to the sanctum sanctorum. But this takes that restriction to another level, saying that non-Hindus can come only up to the flag staff in temple premises and they cannot go beyond that. Secondly, this order also insists that non-Hindus ought to give an undertaking in writing, if they believe in the deity, if they want to worship in temples, that they believe in the deity and that they would follow the customs and practices of the Hindu religion. And this, in a sense, could lead to a different kind of situation in Tamil Nadu, which is also known for the rationalistic principles in the state. For example, there could be many atheists who on record could be Hindus, but what if they decide to go to a temple with their family members? If they're known to be atheists, will they be stopped? Will they be made to give in writing that they profess faith in the deity? That's the big question many are asking. But the government has not reacted at all. Sources in the government say this is a court order. We are not the petitioners in this. So we will take a call whether to challenge it or not only after a thorough discussion. The Hindu Religious and Cultural Endowments Ministry has called for a meeting sometime. Only on the basis of the discussion, they may decide whether to go to the court again to challenge it or not. The origin of the problem is one particular issue at the Palani temple in the Judicial district where the petitioner claims that a non-Hindu family attempted to get into the temple, claiming that it's a picnic spot and they ought to be allowed, particularly when the officials stopped them. And it was in that context, he had moved the court, asking the temple administration there to restore the board which they had earlier, which was removed for some renovation work. But the court has now given a blanket order, making this order applicable for all the temples across the state.
Right. Thank you, Sam, for joining us with those details. Let me bring in the other guest joining me tonight, Salem Dharanidharan of the DMK, Narayanan Tirupati, who's the Vice President of Tamil Nadu BJP, and Rahul Ishwar, author and activist. Thank you all for joining us on this broadcast. Let me go to Mr. Dharanidharan first. So the petitioner in this case, Senthil Kumar, has mentioned an example that a Muslim family with several women in burqas had purchased tickets to go to the Palani hilltop. This is a hill temple. And to click pictures, after the authorities tried to stop them, they argued that there was no board which barred the entry of non-Hindus. That is what it said. Now, the state government has said that installing such boards would hurt the religious sentiments of visitors. The court has refused to accept it. How do you view this order barring non-Hindus from entering the Palani Murugan temple? Is this restriction even reasonable?
Hey, firstly, thank you for having me in the show. We will definitely contest this order on simple grounds that we run a simple form of government, and the duty of the state government as well as temple administration to ensure the rights of all citizens of India as enumerated in the constitution under Article 25 to 28. Right, in Tamil Nadu, we've always lived in harmony. In fact, I am a Hindu. My mother is a devout Hindu, but when I was born, my mother had a will in Velankani. So you can belong to a faith and also believe in another faith, right? So this is what has been the grounds of contention.
Right.
If someone could belong to a different faith but still also believe and respect Hinduism, how
Right.
can we stop? And Palani Murugan temple is famous across the globe.
Okay.
And there have been even foreign worshippers have come and they've gone to Palani temple. So how can we stop them
Okay.
if they have the faith in the Hindu religion? This is what our contention is. In fact, I'll go to the Sri Rangam temple where there's a statue of Bibi Nachiyar, the daughter of Mughal empress. Even today, the presiding deity is offering her roti with butter. So this is Hinduism, right? And also, there's a temple in Nagapattinam, Perumal temple, where the processions during certain festivals they halted before masks and prayers are offered.
Right. Mr.
So
Tirupati, would
I
you
think
agree with this? And also, see, Tamil Nadu was one of the first states to create, Hindu religious and charitable endowments departments. I know that, there could be problems with that, but that took over temple administration. Tamil Nadu was also one of the states to enact a Temple Entry Authorization Act. So how does this High Court order stand vis-a-vis the general open nature of temples in Tamil Nadu? I'm asking you because there are two strong sides to this debate. One would say that temple entry should be universal, not restricted to believers, because anyone can come to temple, learn about history, culture, architecture. But others who argue that this could take away the sanctity of the places and the processes.
no, even
See,
if
every
the
religion has got
Tamil
its
Nadu
own
government has
right. Every religion. The question is to me, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So every religion has got its own rights, its own, worshipping ways, methods, rules, regulations, etc. Whether it is Islam or Christianity or Hinduism. And this is not new for Tamil Nadu because even the HR&CE Act very clearly says that non-Hindus are not allowed. But if at all they want to go, if they have to commit, they have to ensure that they have belief in the God which they are there in the temple. So it is very clear. It doesn't ban or something. But if non-believers enter, the only thing is that don't go there. You don't like temples, you don't like God, then what is the purpose of going there? Hurting so many people's sentiments. People go to temples with the sentiment, with the belief that God is there for them. So, absolutely, we welcome this order. This order is always there. As Sam Daniel very rightly said, that in most of the temples in Tamil Nadu, there are boards saying that non-Hindus are not allowed beyond a point. Even today, foreigners are not allowed beyond a point. Non-Hindus are not allowed beyond a point. In fact, non-Hindus are allowed, but provided they give an undertaking, provided they give a letter saying that they believe in this, but foreigners are not allowed inside. So this is totally, as rightly said by Dharanidharan, it is Article 25, the right to worship, right to religion. So definitely, you cannot, spoil the sentiments. You cannot have the sentiments of the people. That is the main thing, and very rightly so, the order has been placed. Why and how this board should be placed.
Right. Mr. Ishwar, like Mr. Tirupati and also Mr. Dharendran said, explain to us this one thing. Now, the court has noted that both the Temple Entry Act and the HR&CE Act have provisions that restrict entry to Hindus. Now, is the court merely enforcing the existing law when it says that, you should restrict the entry of non-Hindus? And also the court says non-Hindus may be permitted based on an undertaking that they have faith in the deity and that they follow customs and all that. So I understand that some temples like Madurai Meenakshi follow this practice. Is it even possible to enforce this in all temples? Do we have a precedent in the country?
Two things. One, we should understand what a temple is. Temple is the house of the deity, and deity and devotees are the rightful owners of that particular temple. Let any temple be that deity is the owner of the temple. For example, the Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi was given to Ram Lalla. Or in Shabarimala it is Ayyappa, in Palani it is Muruga, Subramanya. So that deity is very important. Take the case of Shabarimala. It's a very pluralistic framework where we ritualistically go and offer our respect to Ayyappa's Muslim best friend called Vavar. And there is a small mini Muslim shrine for Vavar inside the Shabarimala premise itself. We also go to a Christian Velitha and offer our respect there before coming here. So that is the framework of that particular temple. Similarly, every temple will have its own framework. We need to respect that. In Palani temple, the framework is that only believers of Lord Muruga and believers who are Hindus who are generally going there. Inside Hinduism itself, there are very many branches who doesn't agree with the whole idea of temple worship. For example, the Arya Samajis, the Brahma Samajis, they don't generally agree with what we call Vigraharadhana, and they keep away from temple. So it's a very open space. But at the same point of time, the space is rightfully owned by the deity and the devotees, and it is protected under Article 25. Temple is not a picnic spot. Temple is not a tourist spot. Temple is a sacred space for the deity and the devotees where there is ritualistic, energy-based, cultural, civilizational and spiritual ties that are binding them together. Unfortunately, our temples have become some kind of selfie spots, some kind of picnic spots, and that shouldn't be happening. There are many other spaces which can be used, which has great heritage. For example, ancient palaces can be used. But whether they are temple, whether they are holy mosques or holy churches, they should be respected. For example, in Holy Mecca, I know the non-Muslims are having their own regulations. Why? Because that is a particular space of our Muslim brothers for their own devotion. We should see that it is absolutely right, based on equality, based on diversity and Article 25, and temples are some of the corner centers of Hindu civilization. And we shouldn't we respect that? Shouldn't we dilute our sanctity or dilute the sacredness of the place just for pleasing others? This is a question we have to think.
Dharanitharan, how do you see this playing out politically? Because in the last few months, I know Mr. Tirupati would also I would want his comments on this. In the last few months, we've seen a lot of debate on Tamil Nadu having a very different form of Hinduism, Saivism, Vaishnavism, also indigenous deities, local gods. Is this also, becoming one sort of a conflict, temples of Tamil Nadu? And, is this also another instance of basic difference between, say, Dravidian thought and what we see as Hinduism otherwise, or just, maybe the perceived differences? So you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
See, my leader has reiterated this time and again. We are not against any religion, right? We are only against bringing spirituality into politics. We support people following different faiths. We embrace, we want pluralism. But do not do politics in the name of religion. This is what has been DMK stand. This is what the leader has reiterated. And HR&CE came into existence much before India became an independent country. And HR&CE has been managing the temples of Tamil Nadu very well. In fact, after DMK has come to power in 21, we have recovered a lot of encroached temple lands, worth 4,000 crores. We have increased the pension for the priests. In fact, Tamil Nadu was the first state to introduce pension for the priests under DMK. Right. So DMK per se is not against any religion, but there have been certain political parties, players who are trying to concoct stories that DMK is against Hinduism or any particular religion, which is not the case, which people of Tamil Nadu understand. That is why we came to power in 1967 itself, when Tamil Nadu is majority of.
Let me just get the last word from Mr. Tirupati, sir. There is this thing that secular state cannot be, governing temples. It's about believers. And would you also respond to what the DMK spokesperson said?
No, see, first of all, we have differences in what Dharanidharan said, because HR&CE is a body which has to supervise, the management of the temples. It cannot manage the temples. So, first of all, HR&CE administering temple itself is illegal. That's what we have been saying. That is why we are saying the HR&CE should get out of temples. That is
But
what
sir, do
we
you
are saying.
think,
It
would
is
you agree with
illegal.
courts meddling into this? Like, would you agree? And this is something Rahul Ishwar also fought for,
Nothing
when we
wrong.
had the Sabribala
No,
judgment.
nothing
So,
wrong.
would you agree with the courts actually dictating this to devotees?
No,
Because
no.
today it's about entry, tomorrow it could be about dress code, then, it could be about anything. And Tamil Nadu has seen these
No, no.
struggles for temple entry, right?
See, first of all, we have to understand that as per the HR&CE Act, this particular issue is there. In the HR&CE Act itself, it is very clearly mentioned that non-Hindus should not enter the temple or beyond a point. If at all they want to enter, they have to give it in a given undertaking. It's still there in a lot of temples, particularly Tirupati. So you can ask me, can you scan people, in the name of a religion or something. But see, it is a fact, and it is followed that non-Hindus should not go there. If you go there, you give an undertaking, and that has happened. Even when Sonia Gandhi visits some temples, I think she has returned. So many seats when they come to even our President of India, they have given. So we need to understand this. We need to understand this. It is not any violation, or we are not trying to,
Right.
ban somebody. Okay. It is very clear that you have to respect our faith. As Rahul Ishwar said, we have to respect
Okay.
everyone's faith. So
Right.
you go to Mecca, obviously Hindus cannot go inside. Same way, that is the thing.
Okay. Thank you all of you for joining us on this broadcast on the very important move
you.
by Madras High Court directing state government and temple authorities to install boards at the entrance of temples indicating that non-Hindus are not allowed beyond the flagpole of the temple.